Welcome back. Man Cave Minutes is in full swing right now, and I've got so much stuff to go through. I don't even know if I'll be able to fit it in one video. So yeah, welcome back. If you're new to the channel, Man Cave Minutes is kind of like the way that I'm using as a update video, something that I can kind of give you guys a weekly content. Granted, I've been so busy lately I haven't been able to do it, but that's what this video is for. Like I said, I got a lot of stuff to go through. So first one straight off the bat is the Bathurst cruise in 2 weeks. So if you're local to New South Wales, Sydney, make sure you're coming down. There's an invite on the group R32 page. Go check it out. Links in the description for that. Yeah, it's gonna be awesome. There's a video from last year. Check it out. I'm pretty excited to see what this cruise looks like, and as you can see, I've got the shirts printed and ready to go. Let me stick this camera kind of on a surface, and we'll get I'll get you a back shot. So there you go. You got back and front. With the front, I decided to not go with the typical GTR kind of logo on the chest. I decided to use the Group A winning car from Bathurst. It was going to be the HKS car, but like I said, I thought in Bathurst spirit, we'll do a Bathurst car.
I'll keep racing, but I'll tell you what, this is going to remain with me for a long time. You're a pack of assholes.
Next year's shirts might feature a Japanese car, but I wanted the first one that I ran to have the winning Bathurst cars on it. Links are in the description for it. Grab a shirt, support the cruise. Why did I start it? I started that cruise mainly because, like, at least in my area, there's not very many street cruises. There's plenty of drag events and, you know, stuff where you spend money, quite honestly, to go enjoy your car. Doing these street cruises like this is a way for guys to just, they have no excuse at this point. Get out, get your car out, let's go for a drive. It costs you fuel, which you've got to pay for anyway. You know, like, obviously I would like for people to buy the shirts, but it's not mandatory, you know. It's just all about getting everybody together, seeing old faces, getting the cars out on the road, getting them out of the garage, you know. Doesn't matter if you have a show car, ex-demolition derby car, doesn't matter. Just get out and drive. When will I take my car? Man, hopefully next year. I don't know. As you guys have obviously seen, this thing is snowballed so far. The build is snowballed so far. Like, the restoration wasn't even supposed to happen, and now I'm doing that. I don't know. I'm taking my time. I'm making sure it's right. That's the best answer I can honestly give you. I mean, so it may be moving kind of at a snail's pace for some, but I can't just dump my whole paycheck into my car. I'm unfortunately, you know, I'm not a rich man, so it's gonna take me some time. All new suspension arms. This is upper traction and toe arms for the Hikis Eliminator. This is all gonna get stripped back and painted silver. All the nuts and bolts will get zinced. So I took all the nuts and all that stuff off because it's gonna be under the car. And yeah, I don't want rust and all that to start forming. So we're gonna try and protect these as best we can. So yeah, that's the suspension arms. Now, I am still waiting on my lower arms. So I got some Nismo lower arms coming, and still waiting on the mail for those. So it is what it is. That's why this stuff takes forever. And I also got some new front upper cable arms, because with wider wheels and bigger tires, I'm gonna need all the adjustments that I can get. So I went ahead and got the upper camber arms done as well. Now the red's gonna go, this will be silver as well. So we will color match everything, like I said. The other thing, I think I touched on this last video, was the undercoating. So I started it, and as you can see, it's all kind of taken really nicely. It looks pretty good. So I've went ahead and done underneath the car as well. I don't know how I'm gonna show you this. So doing this undercoat sucks really bad, because as you can see, I've got to pretty much do this all on my back, which is why it takes so long. But yeah, you can kind of see how much has been done. It's obviously still not quite finished, but it looks a lot better than it did. So I'm pretty happy with it. Especially easy. Especially with it being a home job. Now, another development was, you guys remember how I was raving on about R35 brakes? Well, Lance from Garage 35 Racing has hooked it up, y'all. I got a full set of 35 rotors and hats. One sec, I'll get these out. Yeah, so he's hooked it up. He's full set of R35 brakes, not the calipers, the rotors, but I've got the front hats, and I need to get the rear hats, which is the part that you have to buy anyway. But yeah, I'm super stoked on this. So we're gonna clean up all the nuts and bolts on this, work on getting the calipers and the rear hat conversion, and boom, we're part of the way there already. 35 brakes. So, sitting here editing this, and I realize I didn't give you guys an actual size comparison over stock for the R35 brakes. So, let's just do that real quick. So, I got the rear hats, which are the stock rear hats here, and the front hats here. So I've got the front 35 brakes, which I can do a comparison for you guys. So I'll grab these ones. I mean, the size difference is just kind of speaks for itself, really. That's the braking surface area there, and then you got the big boy with the floating center, and you got the braking surface there, plus the addition of the floating hub. If you don't know why you use a floating hub, I highly suggest you Google brake failures with where the hub fails, and it might make you think twice about putting these on rather than just going and getting floating hubs, because that's pretty scary. Anyway, back to it. Now, I know I keep I keep kind of glassing over the subframe and the gearbox crossmember and all that. We're about to jump into that now. So Tim from Machina Magica has outdone himself. He still has the front subframe, but basically it came down to the powder coater just didn't necessarily do the best job that he was expecting, so he's knocked the work back. Which I see as a good thing. I mean, you want someone that has that passion, that has that eye for detail when you're asking for stuff like this. What I'll do is a quick before and after shot. So there's a photo that I had, and this is probably the better angle to do here. This entire top piece did not look like this subframe in its entirety didn't look like this. You're probably seeing some video and photos now, but yeah, it's so much to go through on this because this isn't your typical powder coat and call it finished. Like, this is full zinc coated, powder coated, file finished show subframe. So this is zinc coated. Like, this subframe was really bad rust spots. Like, the fact that it's come up like this and it's better than factory is insane. We've got the GK Tech subframe bushings in there, and reason I went with the GK Tech instead of just the factory liquid filled subframe bushes is because of that. They're liquid filled. This is a complete rubber polyurethane conversion, so you'll never get the liquid dripping out of your subframe anymore. And these things aren't going to just, you know, fall out of the car or anything like that. Like, any bushing, any rubber bush is still going to degrade, but it's not a solid bush that's going to transfer every single piece of vibration, you know, into your butt. I'm beyond stoked about this. Like, and a lot of people would be like, well, why do you spend so much time and effort on something that's going to be underneath the car? The short answer is, this isn't your typical powder coating job. Like I said that before. You get stone chips, you get rocks and stuff that flick up and hit the subframe after you've powder coated it. You've now introduced, you know, a way for rust to start set back in on the bare metal. When it's zinc coated, you can't break the zinc coat. It'll bend the metal, sure, but you ain't gonna break the zinc coat. Powder coat might chip away, not gonna break the zinc coat. So that subframe will be protected forever. He's also done my gearbox cross member for me. You can see that thing looks gorgeous. And then I've got my front Rio right here. So if you give me 2 seconds, I'll put this on the car right now. Fresh. Dude, it looks so good. Like, my car is like super dusty and dirty right now, but that looks so good. And it's the same thing. It's zinc coated and then powder coated, so that should last forever. I am honestly blown away by the quality. It's yeah, really good. So I'm really keen to put this batch through to the powder coaters. Then we can see the difference between a restoration finish and just a normal powder coat, which that stuff won't be zinc coated and then powder coated. This stuff is. And I've still got my front subframe to go, so once I get that back, I can finally start putting all this stuff back together. And I still do have to do the rail over there. There we go, the rail. But I can't do that until I get my subframes back in, because I can't move the car without the subframe. So it kind of sucks, because I'm probably going to have to take all that stuff back out, clean it up, because there's just going to be dirt and dust and grime everywhere. So, and yes, I know it's going to happen when the car's driving anyway, but we ain't there yet, so I'm going to try and keep my shit clean. So that the front subframe actually is getting powder coated now for the 3rd time. And I think Tim was probably going to watch this and laugh a little bit. Well, maybe not, because it was sorry. So subframe got painted 3 times or powder coated 3 times, sorry, because the first time was my fault. Tim asked me to degrease it and clean it up before he took it away, and I thought I did a good job. Like, I degreased it, washed it with hot soapy water and all that, but in the cracks and crevices was still just the smallest amount of grease. So when they go to powder coat these things, they heat up the metal to like 200 plus degrees Celsius, I think. So anything that's on the metal is just going to liquefy, and that's basically what happened. So I had grease that ran, they powder coated over it, and then once it baked, you could see the run. Obviously Tim wasn't happy with it, so then he had to hand remove all of the powder coat. And I don't know if anyone out there kind of worked with powder coat before, but getting it off is not an easy task. So yeah, I felt pretty bad. Second time, took it back, got it powder coated again, and in the rigid, like in the basic, like in the angles, if you want to call it that, like the pieces of metal that turn, I don't know, there was like another defect basically, but this time it was because of the powder coater. So Tim rejected the job, and now it's basically getting powder coated for the third time. So hopefully we have that one back soon. It'll obviously be immaculate, and we can kind of get moving on putting the frames back in the car. I'll have the bottom of it undercoated and finished. Then we can move on to getting our rusty spot in the car fixed. Finally have a rolling shell again, and it's go time for the freaking engine. I'm just gonna concentrate all of my effort into finishing that long block, pick that up from CRD, put it in the car, and then work on the rest of getting the engine, ECU, everything else together. Then I need wheels, tires, finish off the R35 brakes. Sorry. You can't see the list because it's behind my boxes of shirts. So yeah, these things are ready to go. I'll have those at the Bathurst cruise. Links in the description below. Grab one. It's gonna be lit. But as you can see, the list is back there. I'll definitely stick to my word and update that as I finish things off. So yeah, kind of I think this is a pretty good update. Like, there's a lot of stuff that's come back, so we're gonna start seeing some good progression finally happening. So should be pretty good. Look out for some more GTR reviews as well. Yeah, bring on the new year because we about to smash it.